On Christmas Eve, my husband, Max Davis, took me to a private dinner hosted by a big industry player. We had barely made our way around the room when a strange woman suddenly shoved me into the pool. When I insisted on checking the surveillance footage and calling the police, Max firmly held me back. He warned me to remember my place and not embarrass him in front of everyone. In the brief time I changed into another gown, I returned to find that same woman perched on my husband's lap, her red lipstick leaving traces on his collar. Max, you're right. That nasty scar on her stomach really does look like a centipede. It's so hideous. She giggled with mock innocence, adding, "It's been so fun messing with your wife. Next time, can I slap her when no one's looking?" Meanwhile, Max gazed at her like she was the only woman in the world, gently tracing his finger over her nose. "Of course, you can," he replied, eyes still locked on hers. "I'll even tie her hands behind her back for you." Beyond rage, I felt tears threatening to spill. After smoothing down my newly changed gown, I took a deep breath and steeled myself for what I was about to do. Under Max Davis's stunned gaze, I stormed over and shoved the woman hard. She slammed against the wall before sliding to the floor, knocking over a wineglass that drenched her outfit. As she screamed, I turned and slapped Max across the face. I said coldly, "Care to explain how you plan to tie my hands?" "You're insane." Max cursed, rushing to help the woman up from the mess. She glared at me with pure hatred, but when she turned to Max, her expression transformed into a wounded innocence. She remained silent, letting giant tears roll down her cheeks. Somehow, she managed to look heartbreakingly pitiful and undeniably beautiful. I grabbed a napkin from a passing waiter and threw it at her face. "Coco?" I let out a bitter laugh. "The assistant?" Coco Hale flinched and retreated, prompting Max to step between us. He stated, "Sorry, it was just a harmless joke. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? Stop being so petty." Max added threateningly, "Think about how it would look if this made the news, CEO's wife assaulted an employee. I retorted, "Oh, you're worried about bad press? I wonder what would make a better headline, me pushing an employee, or a CEO offering to help his assistant assault his own wife?" Max's face turned crimson with embarrassment. "We work our employees so hard. Letting her blow off some steam by pushing you isn't a big deal. You weren't even hurt." I laughed in disbelief, having never seen Max stoop so low. "Then why don't you let her push you around instead?" Max frowned. "I told you it was a joke. She doesn't know you and pushed the wrong person. Let it go before you make an even bigger scene." When Max tried to grab my arm, I pulled away, noting the irritation in his eyes. I demanded coldly, "Wrong person? Then why hasn't she apologized? What kind of assistant doesn't recognize the CEO's wife? Is she even qualified for the job?" Max froze, knowing he had no defense. He could not utter a single word and could only shield Coco with his body while avoiding my gaze. This business dinner was Max's idea.